Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. We'll chant Om once together. Synchronize the chanting of Om with your exhalation. Breathe in. Sahana vavatu, sahanau bhunaktu, sahaviryam karavavahai, tejasvinavaditamastu mavit vishavahai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Gently open your eyes. We'll chant from verses 11 to 15 of chapter 3. Devan bhavayatanena,
Devan bhavayatanena,
te deva bhavayantu vaha,
te deva bhavayantu vaha,
parasparam bhavayantaha,
parasparam bhavayantaha,
Shreya paramavapsyatha,
Shreya paramavapsyatha,
Ishtan bhogan hi vo devaha,
Ishtan bhogan hi vo devaha,
Dasyante yagna bhavitaha,
Dasyante yajna bhavitaha,
Taidattana pradayaibhyaha,
Taidattana pradayaibhyaha,
Yo bhungte stena eva saha,
Yo bhungte stena eva saha,
Yagna shishtashinah santaha,
Yajna shishtashinah santaha,
Muchyante sarva kilbishaihi,
Muchyante sarva kilbishaihi,
Bhunjate te tvagam papaha,
Bhunjate te tvagam papaha,
Ye pachantyatmakaranat,
Ye pachantyatmakaranat,
Annad bhavanti bhutani,
Annad bhavanti bhutani,
Parjanyadanna sambhavaha,
Parjanyadanna sambhavaha,
Yagnyat bhavati parjanyah.
Yagnaat bhavati parjanyah.
Yagnyah karma samudbhavah.
Yagnyah karma samudbhavah.
Karma brahmodbhavam viddhi.
Karma brahmodbhavam viddhi.
Brahmakshara samudbhavam.
Brahmakshara samudbhavam.
Tasmat sarvagatam brahma.
Tasmat sarvagatam brahma.
Nityam yagne pratishtitam.
Nityam yagne pratishtitam.
Hari Om, and a very good day to all of you. So, in the last session, we were seeing this verse number 14, which has been given in the form of a riddle, we can say, a puzzle. See, sometimes certain things, when told directly, will help you gain knowledge. Sometimes when certain things are told indirectly, that will help the student gain knowledge. I'm telling you, there are so many ways of imparting this wisdom which the yogis use. So one is a direct method. You'll find in the Bhagavad Gita, in many places, directly the messages are given. The other is the indirect method, the form of suggestions. Probably you could try this and see. It all just depends on the particular student, and also even if it's the same student, the mind may react to many things at different periods of time. That's why. Now, there is also another method which is very powerful, that is creating a puzzle for the student to solve. Already the student has asked a question, means the student is seeking something, he or she is confused. Now, sometimes the guru gives a puzzle. He talks in such a way that the student gets more confused, as it were, See, just imagine here also, Arjuna's situation is, he is unable to face the battle. He says, I am not even able to lift my bow. As a warrior, he was just sitting there and crying. And he was asking Krishna, what should I do? How do I come out of this? To which Krishna is saying, from food arise beings, from rain arises food, from sacrifice arises rain, and sacrifice arises out of action. Now just imagine the plight of Arjuna. He is already in a state of confusion. He is unable to solve the situation or the problem which he is facing. And when he is asking advice to Krishna, Krishna is saying something which seems unconnected to the question which Arjuna has asked. Arjuna has asked for guidance. Should I act or should I gain knowledge? Now, what is this which Krishna is giving? This is a method which many yogis adopt. They talk in terms of riddles or puzzles, we can say. That is, they create a puzzle and ask the student to solve it. When a guru does that, it is only a non-judgmental student who has completely surrendered to the guru who will be able to go through that exercise. If a student is very judgmental, if the student is highly impatient, he'll ask, no, please answer my question. This is my question. They'll become very impatient. Now, why is it that sometimes the masters do this? See, when you are caught up in a particular problem and you want a solution, you become highly frustrated and impatient. The frustration and impatience creates a lot of negative energy in the form of mental agitations, stress. That stress which is created, that becomes a block. It doesn't allow you to receive further knowledge. So, any amount of knowledge can be given, but the mind will not absorb anything. When it is caught up with an issue, when it is in a worked up condition, sometimes people get so worked up about their problems. They are so caught up with the problems that they don't have the basic calmness to receive the solution or the answer. Now, if the student has not surrendered or if the student is non-judgmental, this will become a test also. When a guru doesn't give the knowledge directly, but in certain other ways he creates a lot of puzzling situations for the student to solve. So this acts as a filter also, by the way. If a student is not able to go through this, it means there is no point in wasting time with that person. See, the great masters were very selective. They used to test, they used to filter and then only give the higher wisdom. Even in these Sunday sessions, there are a lot of inbuilt filters which have been designed. It's only when a person passes through all those filters that one would be able to gain this higher wisdom. These are all tests, and when a student passes those tests, that itself prepares him or her to receive the higher wisdom. You may wonder, what are the filters? Now, I'm not going to list down everything, but for example, the very structure of these sessions, if you notice, is that it's structured in a very slow paced way. First of all, Yogishri will be talking very gently, slowly. The energy will be built in every session carefully. Now, if a person is very impatient, they will get bored fast, no? So, such people, let them go and seek entertainment in the name of spirituality, because they are not seeking true wisdom. then what is the point in giving them the wisdom? So, even though this has been open to everyone on paper, only those people who pass these kinds of filters, there are many such filters which have been put. Only those kind of people who pass all those filters and come and stay will be able to gain this wisdom. So, when a student approaches a master puts a lot of filters and tests every now and then. Whenever a further higher wisdom has to be given or a higher empowerment has to be given, then some tests are always put. So, this is one method of creating a filter. That is, a master creates a puzzle and gives it to a student. Student has asked for answer and he creates a puzzle. It's like, if you go to a cook and ask the cook to teach you how should I make this particular dish. Now, instead of directly telling you how to make that dish, supposing he just gives you the botanical names of the vegetables which have to be used, and even the methodology has been given in a very coded way, and he gives you that kind of information, instructions. Now you will say, what is all this? You may tear the paper and you may go away. But a person, if he has value for that cook, this person really knows, somehow or other I have to get the knowledge from this person. If you feel like that, then you will not tear it up. You will be patient, you will solve the puzzle, you will be with the person. Slowly, he may teach you, he'll definitely see, these masters will teach some of the most subtle things in life which you can never get it in books. See, a guru actually gives something beyond the books. If the guru just gives what is there in the books, what is the necessity of a guru? You tell me. You can directly read the book, no? The Bhagavad Gita is there. The Vedas are there. They have been written down also. Originally they were not written down. Even when Vyasa compiled the Vedas, he gave it to his students in the oral form only first. So later on it was written down. So that is there. All the Puranas are there. All the scriptures are there. Just go and read them, no? Why do you require a guru? So if any guru just sticks to merely what is given in the scriptures, the books, there is no meaning in that. No doubt there should be a scriptural background, the scriptural base, but a guru is designed or a guru is meant to give something which is more than what is given in the books, because everything cannot be written down. Actually, what is written down is probably 5% or even I would say 1% of the whole truth. So, a master may not follow a same pattern or a same system. Suddenly he may change the system. He may be explaining things in a very direct way. Suddenly he will give indirect suggestions. And as the mind is getting used to it, he will suddenly give a puzzle and say, solve it. So these are all filters. And number two, it helps in reducing the impatience or the stress of the mind. It also incites or triggers the spirit of discovery within a student. When it is given in a puzzle form and when the student puts a lot of effort and he is able to discover something and then the master adds, what happens is that really sets the process of thinking, sets the process of developing a lot of clarity, discovery, the spirit of discovery. So that is why many masters have spoken in riddles. That's why it requires the yogic approach to be able to penetrate and derive the true messages. Apparently simple statements. We don't require Lord Krishna to say this, that from food arise beings and rain gives you food and all that. And this is not an agricultural class. See, Arjuna is standing in the battlefield and Krishna is talking about the ecological system and all that. So obviously there is something more than what you see with your eyes. That is what we are going to slowly discover. See, I want you to get into that spirit of solving a puzzle. That's why in the previous session I had asked you to just think about this casually. What could this mean? And then, I said you come back. Because that will bring that spirit of discovery within you. Not for you to solve the whole thing. See, if you are able to solve it 100%, then you are already moved to a very high level. You don't even require the puzzle, But to trigger or to set the process of discovery, these kinds of verses are very useful. It helps to purify the student's mind. In case there are any doubts about the master and all that, it will be like a make or break situation, If you have doubts, you go. If you, doubts mean not about the subject, I am talking about whether this master can help me or not and all that. Because with those kinds of thoughts, one really cannot benefit from these great masters. It's not that these masters were partial or anything, but in order to receive the wisdom, all these criteria have to be met, So this is one such puzzle which he has thrown here, wherein he says, Annat bhavanti bhutani, from food arise beings, Parjanyat anna sambhavaha, from rain arises food, Yagnyat bhavati parjanyaha, from sacrifice arises rain, and Yagnaha karma samudbhavaha, sacrifice arises out of action. So I was telling you about the reverse flow which he has followed here, and the sadhana message was also given to you, the sadhana tip. That is, you need to put an effort to come out of your comfort zone. So a lot of sadhaks have got inspired by that sadhana tip, and many sadhaks have asked more questions about that. So I'll throw some more light on that, and then we will go to the different aspects of this verse. See, what do we mean by coming out of the comfort zone? First of all, why should you? You should understand what is meant by staying put in a comfort zone. the mind or the consciousness is unable to merge with the infinite, is unable to get to the highest spiritual truth because it is very comfortable with the worldly experiences, with the limited experiences. Or rather, the mind does not want to stretch further. The mind does not want to come out of its comfort zone and take a leap into that unknown infinite. This is the very block, what we call as a fundamental spiritual block, tamas, spiritual tamas. See, when we talk of tamas, rajas and sattva, they are not absolute qualities. They are adjectival qualities. We can say they are adjectives to qualities also. Even though the word used is guna, but they are not absolute. Rajas for one person may be tamas for another person. If a person is getting up, let us say, very late, just for argument's sake, a person is waking up very late. Now, would you call it rajas or tamas? You will say it's obviously tamas, sir. But, okay, let's say a person gets up at 7 a.m. Would you say it is rajas or tamas? You will immediately say that is tamas. See, your conclusion is only tamasic. Because without knowing any facts, without understanding the situation in a deep way, just to conclude like that is wrong. Supposing the person was earlier getting up at 9 and he is trying to slowly wake up early so that he can build some good habits. So he has started getting up at 7. Then would you say that is tamasic? No. But let us say another person is right from beginning getting up only at 7. He is not putting any further effort. He is just maintaining that. Then you would say, this is tamasic. You should try to advance. Why I am giving you this simple example is just to make you understand that these things are not absolute. They are not absolute values, They keep changing. Like in mathematics, you have the signs, positive sign or negative sign. Which is greater? Is the number 2 positive or negative? Many of you will say it's positive. But if you go and ask a true mathematician, he will say we cannot say whether 2 is positive or negative. It all depends on the reference point. With reference to 0 or even the number 1, 2 may be positive. But if you shift that reference point from 0 to 3, then the number 2 becomes negative. So these gunas are also like that. You just can't categorically say something. So the fundamental spiritual tamas, what we call as inertia, is that you're asleep to the infinite and you are so caught up with the finite. the finite world offers certain limited benefits, finite benefits. But if you get lost in those experiences, the yogis are not saying now don't experience the world, that is not what they are saying. But when you get lost in those experiences and you are not trying or looking for something further higher, then it means you have become tamasic. Everybody is in that state only. This is what the yogis called as samsara. Samsara is not merely the world. It is the quality of being caught up in an experience which is called samsara. The same experience, where if a yogi experiences that and uses that to move further up, then it is no longer samsara. So this fundamental spiritual inertia is there. Now, unless you break that inertia, you will not be able to get the final experience of the infinite, of self-realization or God realization. So, how do you break that inertia? It is not possible straight away at the highest level. Actually, if that is possible, then there is no necessity for all this wisdom, so much of effort. Even Krishna doesn't need to give 18 chapters, no. Why all the Vedas? What is the requirement of a guru? Nothing is required. You just have to get rid of the spiritual inertia and merge with the infinite. But that's not possible. Therefore, what these masters suggested was, you start practicing coming out of the inertia in small things, in all the areas of your life, in relative things first. So what is meant by coming out of inertia? That's why I gave you the definition of inertia according to physics. Inertia is when an object is in a state of rest, or when an object is in a state of uniform motion. So when you are not acting at all, when you are completely lazy, that is one type of inertia. But when you have started acting and then you are just mechanically doing it, you're in a comfort zone and you don't want to break that at all, that is also considered inertia. This is physics, not philosophy. We are applying that here. It's the same principle only. So, in your day-to-day experiences, you should first start building this habit of coming out of inertia. Wherever you are in a state of direct inertia, that is rest, which means no growth at all, no action at all. Now start injecting action, start injecting rajas there. So when compared to a state of rest, motion is rajas. But if you are just in a state of uniform motion, which means mechanical action, then that becomes tamasic. That's why I said tamas, rajas and sattva are not absolute terms, they are adjectival words, adjectives. At any level one can be tamasic, rajasic or sattvic. So the effort needs to be put in to come out of that mechanical attitude, to come out of that comfort zone. So inject action wherever there is no action, where you are supposed to act if you are not acting. That's what we are talking about here. And then wherever you are acting, you will find that you will be within the comfort zone, you will not want to go beyond that. There you should start stretching yourself. That's why I gave you the example of the principle of comfortable stretch, no? To whatever extent you can reach out further. So apply that in every area of your life. See why these masters have talked about all aspects of life. They have given 12 aspects of life. We saw that in Finding Rhythm in Life. No? Now one by one the empowerments will be given for all those 12 aspects. Like in the last empowerment we were seeing Shri Shakti, wealth. What is the necessity for invoking the Shri Shakti? Ultimately, some people say, wealth, what is there in wealth? Just realize God, God is only. That is true. But why did the yogis say, if you are a grihastha? Grihastha means one who is in the world. Some people think grihastha means one who is a married person. No, that is a very narrow interpretation of the word grihastha. Grihastha means one who is involved or one who is occupied in certain activities of the world. As long as you are functioning in the world, they said one of the primemost duties is to earn wealth and learn how to use it properly. We saw all that in the Shri Shakti empowerment, no? That is available online now. Many people were asking me, when is it going to be available? A lot of mails were received. These are very powerful empowerment programs. They just cannot be put online just like that. That has to be energized a lot and put in an auto mode for the empowerment to function. That's why it takes time. So the idea there is not to give extra value for money or wealth. It's not that. But it is that extra effort which you are putting in to come out of your comfort zone. Oh, I have this much, I am happy with this. See, the contentment can be sattvic or tamasic. If when you are content and you get into a state of inertia, that is tamas. When contentment calms your mind and makes you act better and evolve, then that is sattvic. So when the yogis said, earn more wealth, learn to tap the Shri Shakti, similarly learn the principles of health, take care of your body, learn the principles of relationships, learn the principles of work. So many aspects we saw, no? The creativity. So now, why are they asking you to do all that? So that you develop this habit of getting out of the comfort zone. That habit which you keep developing and increasing throughout your sadhana will help you when you go to that final stage, where a stage would come where you will have to come out of the comfort zone of this entire finite loka, that is the experiences which you are having, the finite dimension, where you are in, a yogi goes into very deep meditation, one step short of realization. I am dramatizing and telling you there is an infinite, and here the consciousness is caught up with a finite existence. Now, to overcome that, the spiritual inertia and come out of the comfort zone and take a plunge into that darkness of the infinite, to take that leap into the unknown, it requires so much of courage. It's not so simple. Many people say, wait, I don't want it, and they'll come back. That's why So much of preparation is required. This is also, this exercise of learning to, learning and practicing to come out of your comfort zone in all the areas of your life will really, really help you, because once you train your mind in that way, when that final test comes, the final test before enlightenment, you will be able to easily pass that test and merge with the infinite. So without coming out of the comfort zone, there can be no evolution, no growth, no development in any field. An embryo in the womb, baby as an embryo in the womb, is very comfortable, beautiful, cozy place. But nature does not allow that. After a while, it pushes the baby out. And the baby, when it comes out, it doesn't even know where it's coming. Just imagine the emotions the baby will be going through when it comes out of the mother's womb. It's a totally new place. Till that point of time, it has been feeling the mother's energy. Now it sees the mother in a different way from outside. It sees so many things. Now that causes a lot of uncomfortable feeling because it has come out of the comfort zone. But this is nature's way of pushing the child into that new world. For it, it is new, so that it comes out of the comfort zone, it can live its life. So nature has designed your life in that way only. When the teeth starts coming for a child, for a baby, it feels very uncomfortable. Some babies, become a little sick also at that time. The digestion, there's some problem with the digestion, so many things. It's not so comfortable, but nature has designed it that way so that you come out of that comfort zone. Only then the further experiences can be obtained. So at every step in life, you are very comfortable with certain things. And when you learn to master that, when you learn to come out of that comfort zone, you will start growing, you will start evolving. So this principle which was given to you, the sadhana principle of coming out of your comfort zone, will help you to face all the challenges of your life and keep progressing in the world. It will also help you to face all the internal challenges and keep growing to higher and higher dimensions of perfection. So that is why these great yogis always said or gave such instructions to their students to, they gave instructions in such a way that they kept the students always on their toes, never allowed them to relax. Relax in the sense, we're not talking of sattvic relaxation here, a tamasic kind of contentment, They never allowed the students to get into that. So, I've given you more insights into that sadhana principle so that it will inspire you. As you're getting inspired, now start putting that into practice. Take up small things, one small habit. I'm very much comfortable with this, but if I stretch myself and do this, now that's going to give a lot of benefit in that area. But why aren't you doing that? Because of inertia. consciously put in efforts to get yourself out of that comfort zone. Don't avoid something when you are uncomfortable. Instead, prepare yourself properly and face that. You see, the mind wants to avoid things which, which actually avoid those things which take it out of the comfort zone. If a person is very uncomfortable speaking in the public, let us say, that is public speaking I'm talking of, then he or she should put some effort in whatever opportunities you get to come out of that comfort zone. Yes, it will be painful, but when you bear that pain and go through that, you will evolve. That's why Buddha said, bear the pain. When you do exercises, they do cause a certain amount of pain, but it is in that enduring that pain, growth can happen, growth of the muscles. So a thinker said, no pain, no gain. No? It's a beautiful statement. This is what it means. Okay, so he has used the reverse analysis method to get you out of that comfort zone. We have already read it several times. You may have wondered, why am I reading the translation again and again? The reason is, every time I read the translation, even though you feel you've got the whole message, basically, when it is read in a reverse flow, your mind becomes alert, That is the small sadhana of coming out of the comfort zone and becoming more attentive. So for our understanding, for our analysis, we will go in the normal flow. Then only it will be easy. So we will go to that last portion, that is Yagna karma samudbhava. Sacrifice arises out of action. So in all these, there are 4 steps he has given. That is, from action comes sacrifice, from sacrifice comes rain, from rain food, and then from food beings. In all these 4 steps, it is the same word, basic word which is being used, that is bhava. Now, the word bhava has so many dimensions. According to the context, the meaning will keep changing. The emphasis will keep changing. So he has added a few words with a few things with bhava and created one emphasis. So here he uses the word samudbhava. In the next step, he uses the word bhavati. In the next step, he uses the word sambhava. And in the final step, again he uses the word bhavanti. So according to the context, the emphasis will keep on changing and you get a lot of sadhana tips from that. See, this will be very interesting. So what is the first step he is talking about? He says, karma samudbhava yagna. Yagna karma samudbhava. Karma samudbhava means arising from action. Karmanaha samudbhava yasya tat. Out of all the actions, he says, yagna is one type of activity. That's whatever statement was said just now is not a perfect statement. It is not a correct statement. We will be refining it further. So, of all the activities, Yagna is one type. This will be a normal person's understanding. Yagna has arisen from activities. But we have seen in the previous verses that that is not the case. If you remember, when this principle of Yagna was first introduced, it was explained to you thoroughly that Yagna is not a separate type of activity. Every action can be converted into Yagna. If you refine your bhavana, then whatever activity which you are doing will become Yagna, sacrifice. Yaj bhavena Yagna. So, the fundamental thing which he is trying to say here is not that sacrifice, the Yagna is one type of activity, it is not that. Without basic action, you can never get into Yagna. See, remember, this chapter is Karma Yoga, the path of action. Now, so he will be laying a lot of emphasis on karma in this chapter. A person who does not basically act can never dream of doing Yagna. Only when you act, you will move to the next step, which is, okay, should I do it as a Yagna or should I not do it as a Yagna? That question itself will arise only then. So, when he says Yagna arises out of action, that possibility of doing Yagna itself arises only if you are in a state of activity first. If you are in a state of inertia, the question of Yagna does not arise. Now, do you understand the flow? Why I was emphasizing so much on coming out of the inertia, coming out of the comfort zone and all that. So, all along we have seen various aspects of Yagna. We saw the principle of Parasparam. So many things were were explained to you. The sadhana tips were given. Now, that is all fine, but if you are fundamentally, if you don't overcome the state of inertia, you will not be able to practice any of those. Our entire study will become a total waste. All the sessions which we have done till now will be a total waste if you don't put effort to come out of your comfort zone, to overcome your inertia. Even if you act in an agitated way, it is okay, but you should act. Act means that readiness to act, taking that initiative. See, some people, they live their lives in a very generalized way. If you look at it generally, they would have basically done whatever they ought to do, but it's all in general terms. But when you get to the specifics, you will find that they are in a very deep state of tamas. Whenever they have to do something, they will not take that initiative. Somebody has to take the initiative and tell them, or they will act when they are forced, when they are pushed in a corner, only then they will act. So, we are talking about that initiative, that tendency to initiate action joyfully. That is meant by coming out of the comfort zone, overcoming that inertia. So when you overcome your inertia, you will be in a state of karma, number one. When you are in a state of karma, you will get this choice. This possibility will come, to convert that karma into Yagna karma. Yagna karma, earlier technically I have mentioned that Yagna karma doesn't mean type of activity and all that. We have seen that. So that is why he didn't directly use the word Yagna karma, But having explained all that, now you will be able to understand it in the right way. So that's why I am liberally using that phrase. So Yagna karma doesn't mean separate set of activities called Yagna. No. Converting whatever karma you are doing, whatever action you are doing into Yagna. That possibility arises only if you are in a state of karma. And you will be in a state of karma only if you overcome the inertia and come out of your comfort zone. So, that's why I said this verse is very powerful. See, the very first step itself is so powerful. It's like, in cricket, a batsman sometimes, the very first ball he hits for a sixer, it is like that. Yagna karma samudbhava. So, yagna arises from action, means the possibility of yagna itself arises only if there is action. If any person is not in the state of karma, that person will never be able to do yagna. So this sadhana is not for tamasic people. Tamasic people have to first focus on getting out of the comfort zone, getting into a state of karma. Then only refining the activity and making it a yagna can be practiced. See what a beautiful construction here, when he says yagna karma samudbhava, sacrifice arises out of action. It looks so simple, no? So he has used the reverse analysis to make your mind alert, to get you out of that comfort zone, and then he says sacrifice arises out of action. So if you are sharp, if you are penetrative, you will get the deep message which he is trying to convey here. So what do we mean by being in the state of karma? In life, are you doing whatever you ought to do, whatever you have set for yourself? See, when you go to a guru, now guru will constantly be driving you to perform your duties properly. Supposing he gives you some work. Now, if you don't take the initiative to do that work properly, if you don't take the initiative to come out of that comfort zone, but you have surrendered to the guru, you want help, then he will use many, sometimes he may use very harsh methods, but he will use many methods to get you out of that inertia till you get into the state of karma. Because only when you get into that state of karma, which is taking that initiative, he will be able to teach you how to refine that and grow further up. So in life, you are playing so many roles. Am I doing all my karmas properly there? My duties. See, the moment we use the word duty, there is a misunderstanding today. People think duty means it's a drudgery. I read one article where a person has said, if you are duty bound, you will suffer. Act out of love, not out of duty. These are all very flowery phrases. A marriage should be based on love, not duty bound. It's an erroneous concept. See, that person has not understood that what is a duty. What do the scriptures mean by karyam karma? The first step is you have to be duty bound. If there is if you are not duty bound, how will you be responsible? And two responsible people cannot have a relationship. It is the duty which can bind. Thereafter comes love. That also is covered. The bhava. We always emphasize on bhavana, no? Not doing duties mechanically, not doing duties as a drudgery. The very life of Lord Krishna was that. He enjoyed doing whatever he ought to do. That is the training which you should give to your mind. Not shirking your duties and say, I will do whatever I want, just because I love it. That is not true love. A person may want to slap another person. Oh, I just love it, so I slapped him or her. Is it correct? No. There has to be some sense, no? What gives you that sense? It is karma, the sense of duty. So first thing is in life, I am playing various roles. You have to analyze like this. I am playing various roles in my life. In all these roles, am I in a state of karma? Means am I doing my duties? You may do your duties imperfectly. You may do your duties as a drudgery. That is the next step. But am I at least in a state of karma? Am I basically driven by the sense of doing my duties? Thereafter comes refining that attitude, which is what is yagna. Refining it to such an extent where you do your duties with so much of love, with so much of affection, with so much of positive energy, with so much of joy and cheer. That is spirituality. See, for example, the parents should have a duty sense towards the children. Otherwise, why would they take care of the children? The duty sets the direction. It gives that commitment in that relationship. So, that commitment gives a responsibility. People who don't want to take up responsibility, they don't want to commit. It's not between two partners. In anything they will not commit. Even if if you give them some work, let's say they are going to do some work for you and you may even pay them. That doesn't matter. It will still not bring that sense of responsibility to that person. All these qualities are actually tamasic qualities. So, just to be in the state of karma is a powerful state where you overcome all these tamasic qualities of inertia, which is irresponsibility, lack of commitment, not having a direction. All these things you have overcome and you have now gotten into the state of karma. That is the first prerequisite, we can say, first criteria. Once you have gotten into the state of karma, action, now the next step is, how do I refine that? That is what is yagna. Yagna is a process of refining all your activities. It is not a separate set of activities. When I am making these statements now, you can easily understand because of all the ground which we have covered in the previous verses. So, yagnya karma samudbhava. So, there are so many activities which you are doing. Sir, how do I now do my sadhana? How do I convert all this To which he says, very, very simple. Yaj bhavena yagnya. It's your bhavana. So the choice is with respect to your bhavana. What that bhavana is also he has mentioned in this phrase when he says yagnya karma samudbhava. That word samudbhava is very powerful. We will be seeing that. That word actually gives you the entire process of how to refine your activities, what kind what kind of bhavana you should choose so that your activities become yagna. We will come to that. But first of all, you see, he is asking you to simplify your life. Just divide your activities into two, yagna type, non-yagna type. You are actually not dividing the activities into two, you are dividing your bhavana into two. Because the same activity can be yagna or it can be a non-yagna activity. Right now, the speaker is imparting this wisdom. Is it yagna or non-yagna? All of you will say yagna. Not necessarily. Supposing the speaker is having a selfish attitude. Okay, let me get more name and fame by giving this. Then that activity is no longer yagna. But if the speaker's attitude is noble, let many people get served, let whoever listens to this, let his or her life be changed for the better. If that attitude comes, then it's very refined. The activity has become refined. It has started moving towards yagna. So, we have already defined what yagna is. Yagna, yaj bhavena yagna. It's all your bhava. That is why he is using the word bhava here. They are all related words only. So, all you need to do is, number one, ensure that you are in a state of action. Means you're basically doing your duties in life. Properly is what is the next step. But first you are not shirking your duties. Then, number two, when you are performing your activities, so many varied activities are there. How are you going to now convert all that into sadhana? Very difficult. So, instead of converting those activities into sadhana, what he is saying is, now behind all those activities is one common thing, which is your mind, your bhavana. Now, just there are only two types of bhavana, he says, yagna bhavana, yaj bhavena yagna, we say, yagna type or non-yagna type. So, now it is a simple choice for you. Whatever activity you do, I have to do it in the yagna way, not in the non-yagna way. See how simple the whole thing becomes. See, the points which are being given to you now, they will help you practice whatever points have been given in the previous verse. You will find that throughout this verse, a lot of such practical tips will keep on coming. They will add so much of value to your sadhana. Actually, if you absorb this, you will find that you can become spiritual. That is, you can turn all your experiences into spiritual experiences with much more ease. So, our first get from a state of inertia, move to the state of action, and then out of all the actions, choose yagna, not with respect to actions, with respect to bhavana. Then you may ask, sir, okay, I have decided to choose the Yagna bhava. Now, can you give me more tips? What exactly is this Yagna bhava? That also he has covered. What are the parameters? How will you know whether your bhavana is that of Yagna, whether you are choosing Yagna or whether you are choosing a non-Yagnik bhava, if we can use that word. That is where, this word samudbhavaha, it is very useful. He has actually used such a beautiful word. He has taken the word bhava and then he has added one prefix first, ud bhava, and then he has added one more prefix, sam ud bhava. So samudbhava. With that kind of a construction, he has given very, very clear parameters. These are the things which you should look for, and if you choose them, then your bhavana will become refined, will become of yajna. And when you choose yajna bhava, yaj bhavena yajna, you will start converting that karma activity into yajna, which means instead of merely being in a state of karma, now you will be converting karma into karma yoga sadhana. So what is this samudbhava? We will have to see that in detail. So, as I told you, bhava means arising. So, he has added first one prefix called ud bhavaha, and then further he has said sam ud bhavaha. Some, we will first see what is some. Some is many a times used as a prefix just to signify intensity. Like in English, the word is, very. Supposing you say, this is good. It's good, is it? No, it's very good, you say. So, it adds intensity. So, the food is tasty, extremely tasty. We use such words to add intensity, to explain the intensity of that experience. Similarly, the word sam, udbhavaha is there. When the moment it said sam udbhavaha, whatever meaning is there for udbhavaha, that gets intensified manifold by manifold times. So that is the beauty of sam. It signifies intensity. So then what is wood? When we will also see the different dimensions of wood, when what all it can signify. When we join all that together, that adds so much of value to the word bhava. It's a one of the very powerful constructions which he has used, So wood has so many dimensions. First, we will take up the dimension of gain. Whenever the prefix wood is added to a word, it signifies gaining something. So, what is that sadhana tip which we get? How do you choose between the bhava of yajna or the bhava of non-yajna? Very simple. Whatever I am feeling now, whatever attitude I am having, will this give me gain or will this give me a loss in some way? It may be material loss, it may be a loss of mental peace. Gain means benefit. See, we always think sacrifice means we don't think of our benefits. Never. If you don't even think of your benefit, how will you think of others' benefits? It's impossible. So whatever activity I am going to do, which means whatever the bhavana with which I am going to do my activity or which I am doing right now, will this will this give me benefits or not? So the moment we talk of benefits, there are two kinds of benefits, immediate benefit and long-term benefits. He is not talking about immediate benefits, maybe there, may not be there. But in the long run, will this be beneficial to me or not? This is the first criteria, this is the first question you need to ask yourself. See, for example, supposing you are finding fault with others all the time and you are misunderstanding constantly. Now that causes a lot of stress in your mind. Now you need to apply this wood. This bhavana which I am having, the judgmental bhavana, judgmental attitude, with which I am continuously finding faults with everyone. Anybody I meet, I am looking at that person's faults. Am I gaining anything out of that? What am I getting? I am only becoming more stressed. I am losing my peace of mind. There is nothing positive I am gaining. The moment you understand this process, now you are in a position to drop off that wrong attitude. And how will you drop that? When you are doing your sadhana, do your deep breathing, and you will find that within a few sessions of your sadhana, you would have completely released all that wrong bhava and you would have refined your bhava and made it into yagna. This is a very simple example I am giving. Like this, you need to analyze in your, with respect to your activities. So you take that as today's homework and see how you can apply all this in your situations. So number one, from the state of inertia, move to the state of action. Number two, from the state of action, move to the state of yagna. Two-step process he is giving here. And how do you move to the state of yagna? Udbhavaha. I have given one dimension of wood, the other dimensions we will see in the next session because it will keep adding more and more value to that context of action. Ultimately, the whole thing is to make your actions very powerful and refined. No? That's the whole idea. Okay, so we'll stop with this here before we do the meditation, nididhyasana. I will take up one question. This question has been put in the YouTube comment section. All the points have been put by the sadhak and then this question has been asked. Before I get to the question, it will always be better, in case you have a question and you are putting it there, put all your points as one message and put the question as a separate message. So it will become easier for me to locate the question and answer it. Okay. So after all the points, what she has asked is, Dear Yogishri, I have created my set of problems while practicing the Yoga Sankirtan sadhana. The starting itself, see, the whole idea of Yoga Sankirtan sadhana is to smash all your problems. But you are saying, I have created my set of problems while practicing Yoga Sankirtan sadhana. What is it? While I really enjoy the music and your divine voice, many a times as I begin to go deep in the sadhana, I find my body jerking especially from the Mooladhara area, which I know is a way of releasing the blocks within. But thereafter I become conscious, and many a times I fail to merge with the sadhana, and I am left with a feeling of incompleteness at the end of the sadhana. But sometimes even beyond my alert mind, I tend to merge with the flow. Seeking your guidance and healing in this regard. I have always had this tendency of looking inward, which I am unable to get rid of, and which prevents me from getting into the flow of meditation. I know that witnessing is different from being conscious, but many a time I get conscious instead of witnessing, and I don't really know how to change that stance. Seeking your guidance and mercy. I also have this fixed idea that due to the self-created problem, I can never reach great spiritual heights, though I am very regular with my sadhana and practice of higher principles. This has been my inner conflict for a very long time, and I just picked up the courage today to reveal it. Sorry if I am doing something very wrong. Don't know if it is my karma that is preventing me from progress. I'll briefly answer this. I'll just cover a few things, and then during the other sessions also I'll give more points which will help you to resolve this conflict. First of all, as you have rightly said, it is a self-created problem. Now, it is stemming from two factors. You have used the lot of jerks in my Mooladhara chakra and all that. Now, when we do the Prana Tattva level 2, that is meant for those who have done Prana Tattva level 1, in the future we will be doing that. That will be the chakra sadhana, all that we will see. At that time, we will see in depth of what it is, because people use these words like Mooladhara, this, that and all very loosely, but what it actually means and how you have to gain access to it, there are so many things. It's not like what you're thinking that Mooladhara means to remove blocks. It's not like that. That is meant, that is the sadhana for all that is something very, very deep. Incidentally, the Yoga Sankirtan sadhana, the meditation, it energizes all the energy centers, all the chakras. So whatever blocks are there in any chakra will get removed. So your self-created problem is stemming from two things. One is too much of knowledge which you have picked up from here and there without fully understanding those concepts or those principles. So you need to learn to drop them first. That's why a person coming with a fresh slate can understand all this even with even more easily, will be able to practice a sadhana also with an easy flow. The second thing is, so the first thing is whatever past knowledge you have, now don't bring it here while doing the Yoga Sankirtan sadhana. What has been given to you, the material has been given to you. Music is a tool which has been used. It is not a musical CD. It is a material, sadhana material to facilitate the deeper meditation. Now, what has been told to you is just do the deep breathing, and whatever happens, allow it to happen. Don't analyze it, don't judge it. Don't say, is it Mooladhara or is it Sahasrara? All these things are not required, because those things will only complicate the issue. I am making the whole process very simple for you. It's a simple mind, a childlike mind which can progress spiritually. So whatever ideas which you have picked up from some books or from some people here, there and all that, drop all that. Release those things also during sadhana, If it is not happening, then just close your eyes, connect to the Guru Shakti and request the Guru Shakti, request the higher Shakti. Please remove all my preconceived notions about sadhana itself, and make me as fresh as a child. Then start your sadhana. That will help you so much. The second reason for all these problems is you are trying to do the sadhana in a perfect way. See, sometimes when you get caught up in this idea of perfection, that will start causing a lot of stress. You're concerned too much about whether you're doing it perfectly or not, or what exactly happening. You've used two words, I'm being conscious, being conscious is different from being aware. So many things, you're bringing in. Now, I would say again, simplify the whole thing. Don't look for perfection in your sadhana. Simply do the sadhana like a child in a simple way. Surrender to the Guru Shakti and do it in a simple way. Perfection will come automatically. No need to get into those technicalities. Wherever it's required, anyway, I'm giving you those technicalities. That is more than enough. So, you have mentioned here, I am left with a feeling of incompleteness. Why you are left with an incompleteness is because you are developing your own expectations about how sadhana should be. So why do you need to define that this is how sadhana should be? So what you need to release is that that attitude of constantly judging whether you are doing your sadhana properly or not. And you end up with all the confusion, you are feeling that I am not doing my sadhana properly. See, one fantastic quality which you have is regularity in your practice. That's what you have said. I am very regular with my sadhana and the practice of higher principles. Yes, certain principles you have practiced. Now you will have to also practice this principle. So many people are not regular in their sadhana. That block you easily overcome. Now these are subtler blocks which are surfacing. So as far as energy goes, see, you have a spiritual intention that I can see very clearly. Your energy is revealing that. But because of your past knowledge and because of this tendency of over perfection, what is happening is so much of confusion is being created in your mind regarding sadhana. So release this tendency for over perfection. It doesn't matter whether you're doing the sadhana properly or not. Let me just do it in a simple way. If you develop that attitude and you don't really analyze after every session, have I done it properly, have I been with the flow or not, no need all that. Simply just sit with a calm mind, surrender to the Guru Shakti, surrender to the higher Shakti, play the Yoga Sankirtan and just keep doing the deep breathing. Wherever it takes you, whatever thoughts keep coming, let it be anything. Let all that get released. Sometimes it may take you in a deep way. Sometimes it may bring out many memories, thoughts. You shouldn't say those thoughts are unnecessary thoughts. No. All that you have stored, no. So it is necessary for all of them to come out and get released. So just go with the flow, that's all. Okay. So I have answered the question basically. This will be very useful for all the other sadhaks also. You think about this. If you have any further clarifications also, you can raise and I'll give you more points as we go along. Okay. So now we'll do Nididhyasana meditation. Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. With every breath, I am becoming more and more relaxed. Feel the divine vibrations. With every breath, I am going deeper and deeper into myself. Beyond my physical body, beyond my pranas, beyond my emotions and thoughts, lies my real self. My higher self is infinite and divine. From this moment onwards, I choose to come out of my spiritual inertia. I choose to refine my actions and convert them into Yagna. I am Swayam Prakashit, self-illuminating. Offer your gratitude to God Supreme. Offer your gratitude to your Guru and all the holy masters. Wriggle your fingers, your toes. Open and close your palms a few times. Rub your palms together to create a warmth. And cup your eyes with your palms. Gently rub your eyes, your cheeks, forehead, the top of your head, the back of your head, your neck, and slowly open your eyes. Welcome back. So today a lot of points have been given to you. These are all very powerful principles which will help you to do your sadhana better. So on one hand, he is explaining what is Yagna. He is asking you to do Yagna. And he is explaining what is Yagna. He is going to tell you what are the benefits of Yagna. And he is also giving you some tips or basic principles to help you do Yagna, to help you do your sadhana. We can use the word sadhana in gentle. More than that, what can he do? Now it is up to you. You will have to take these up, these principles up, and practice them in your life. Okay, so next week we'll go into the other dimensions of wood. It will complete the picture and it will give you enormous clarity. How, on what basis are you going to choose your activities, your bhavana? Okay, so reflect on these points and come back. We'll go into more depth. So thank you very much. I'll see you in the next session. Hari Om.